Hello mate, and thanks for interviewing me. Yes, I'm Jason Thatcher and I'm the founder and director behind Global Village Housing and an active volunteer. As a designer for the housing that we use, which has evolved over quite some time, as you know, for the last 5 years or more, we've been building and testing these houses out in the field. And the houses have proved to be extremely successful for pretty much people that are homeless or people who live on rubbish dumps around Cambodia and in a lot of the very remote villages. And as you see, our houses have evolved now that they're flat pack. We have a small factory in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and they're all pre-built and shipped out, and we can now, once a house is out on location, we can put a house up in 3.5 hours. So that had me thinking about an alternative way that we could build a house that would suit the environment and be cheap, strong and robust, and also relocatable, because a lot of the families that we were working with, they were often squatting on the land next to the rubbish landfill, and they could be asked to be moved, could be moved on at any given time. Often the area that they were living on was 3 metres by 3 metres, and that's kind of how our house ended up being, on average, 3 metres by 3 metres. So if we were to gift a family a home, we could take their old house down, slot in a new house without affecting the other families around them. And of course, all our houses have guttering and solar lighting, and they're fully insulated. So even on the hottest day, they stay cool. My idea behind using steel for the framing is because I did a lot of research on the timber in Cambodia, and of course most of it's carved directly out of the mass land clearing that's going on throughout the country. And of course with timber, it can be difficult in the tropical conditions, and I felt that steel was a much better product to work with. So it's evolved over a long time, and a number of our key staff themselves have grown up in the Stamminche area, and also have been children growing up living and working on rubbish dumps. So they have first-hand experience of how difficult life can be in those situations. As we've evolved, we now predominantly work in the most rural parts of Cambodia, which, as we all know when we're out there, we're the only ones out there. There's many charities and NGOs throughout Cambodia, but they seem to stick to the major cities. We've taken a different approach, and we're specialising in working in the most remote parts of Cambodia, and it's an incredible experience. The biggest challenge is getting the homes just into those villages, because the more remote they are, often there's no roads. We've had houses delivered by boat, canoe, four-wheel drive, on the back of ox carts, and all sorts of scenarios. And yeah, it's come a long way. It's been a big process, but it's almost addictive at the same time, because when you meet the families and the difference it makes by giving a family a place called home, it's a truly incredible experience. The average price for one of our houses is $1,650, and that includes solar lighting, and effectively the people that sponsor a house, in return what they get is their name on the house and the information about the family who have been gifted the house. And also what we do is we have a contract arrangement with the family, and that's worked extremely well, and basically that protects the family and also the house. Last thing we want to be doing is gifting a home to a family, and a loan shark, which is often a big problem in Cambodia, comes along and takes that house from the family. So we have a thumbprint agreement between the family that they won't sell the house, hock the house, rent the house. They'll be good with their neighbours and good with their children, and we have the local commune chief or the village chief co-sign that, and that gives it a lots of clout, and so far that's been 100% successful. As you would have seen, our house and design is currently being used by the Cambodia Insurance Fund and also World Housing, and to date there's, including the houses that we've built and the Cambodia Insurance Fund aligned with World Housing, there's been about 300 houses now built in Cambodia. So we are making a big difference, and we are very much a grassroots social enterprise running on an oily rag and making a huge difference. And I think I'd like to say that we are really showing some of these extremely wealthy charities and NGOs that you can make a big difference on very little money, and you don't waste your money, and you can really change lives, and that's what we're all about.